Small community up north.
In the bush?
Yes.
Have I ever seen your bush before?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. But it's really bushy, eh? Up there?
Yes.
And you can't get there by car, right? Can you get there by car?
No, it's a fly-in community.
Fly in, yes. And you
Throughout
said
the winter, we have a winter road.
Oh, most of the people from Chippewa and Walpole, they won't even know what a winter road is. So, can you tell people what a winter road is?
It's basically a road that comes from winter. You just drive on the ice.
That's
basically.
a good explanation. It's basically a road that comes from the winter. But it simply means that he lives in the bush. There's no road access. You usually fly in, and when winter comes and it freezes, they can cross the ponds, correct?
Yes.
So you go to school in Pelican?
Yes.
Have you met this wild man?
No, I have not.
Well, introduce yourselves and say hi, like old school.
Hey, Ethan, what's up, man?
Hello.
Nice. So do you like country music?
I'm pretty open to any genre, basically, so I guess you
Yeah?
could say that.
Or do you just like the way he looks? Because he's going to make any song that he sings, I'll listen. You can even sing Skinnamarink Dinky Doo, and we will love it. So
It's good to hear.
yeah. So what do you do up in Sachago Lake for fun? And then what do you get to do in Pelican? Because you guys are on this big tour. You showed up here. I've heard you guys have had some amazing times on your trip.
Yeah, the trip was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed what we've been doing so far, and it's sad that it's going to be ending pretty soon. And in Sachago, I'm more into art, so I don't really go out per se, but
They have some great art programs at Fanshawe. Are you aware of those great art programs?
no, I have not heard of them
Well,
yet.
there are. You need to talk to the staff. And they have a great music program here as well, right?
I've been looking at the music industry arts program here.
Are you guys looking at going to college or university?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you hoping to attend the classes when you get to college? Because a lot of people go to college, but they don't go to class.
Oh, I'll make it to class, yeah.
Yeah? And then are you willing to get a diploma or something and do something with it?
Yes, that's the
Because
plan.
that's what this day is about, right? It's trying to inspire you to smarten up, get her going, get a job, have a bunch of kids and support them and, retire and have the good life. Cool. Well, I believe we have a song queued up. If you're going to be willing to air guitar, I'll be willing to sing. And maybe you can play the air tambourine. Do you know how to air tambourine?
No, I do not.
I think you can. It's basically how you've been using the mic. It's just a little quicker, just a little shimmy there. So can I get you to stand up? We'll get you to go over here. And I actually have a prop that you can use for your thing. It's just like this. And back in his community, because they don't have music shops, they would probably use a box and put rocks in it. So that would be his little shaker. So there's your new tambourine.
Thank you.
We'll get you, I don't know what kind of position are you. You need to get down on your knees. It's not a crazy song. It's like a weepy song. We're going to send this out to our guest who's coming up later. Her name is Alicia Sayers, and she don't like weepy deepy. She wants high function, but this is just a low-cal one. So we're glad you guys came up. I do have a prize for you for coming because it takes confidence to show up when you're randomly plucked from the audience. Do we have a good song queued up for us to pretend, and this is my band? It's like the Little Miss Dove band kind of thing. Enough, sit down, good God, okay. Raise your hand if you like how he played the guitar. Did you see those finger moves?
Thank you.
So you don't sing, or you do try?
I sing like the chorus with them. I try to harmonize a little bit, but I'm mostly a guitar player, yeah.
Do you have a favorite song that you guys do and people love?
A song called Ain't My Fault by Brothers Osborne.
Can you hum it for us? This is promotion for you. You'll be booked in Sachago Lake right from this, driving the winter road.
Hum it.
Not hummus, that's a food.
Hummus.
I want you to hum it.
Hum it. All right.
I like your body language. Very cool, very suave. Yeah, I gotta learn from you.
I try to be a little laid back.
You're totally laid back, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, it's like.
Do you guys want to hear him hum so you can bring him to your community and get him to sing? I'm trying to picture him in a big, tall cowboy hat, some chaps.
I do. I wear a cowboy
Nice
hat.
vest, maybe some bone choker stuff happening. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it goes like something like this, like. Yeah.
Almost sounds like some bees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
maybe you can
nice.
call that the bee love-making song.
It's kind of hard not to bob your head, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So if there was something that you guys would tell them as just being a prop, brought up here, what would you tell them that's important about this day? What are they to take home from this day that they need to remember? And you guys are young, right?
Well, I think you should really listen to the guest speakers and everything because they have a lot of wisdom, and that's what they're here to do. They're here to help you find your way in your career and everything.
You freaking sound like an elder. Look at you.
I do a lot of public speaking, actually.
Stop it. Do you?
I do. Well,
Plug away, because I look for people who like to speak. I like the yappy Indians, so. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wasn't looking for a big speech, but...
Go ahead. This is your chance. It's opportunity.
Well, yeah, like I said, just listen to all the guest speakers because that's what they're here to do. And I hope you guys find your path. And like me, I believe I found mine in playing music and things. And it's a dream of mine. And I never thought I'd come how far me and my brother have come. We won the International Duo of the Year for the Ontario Country Music Association.
Wait, now you're being too damn humble. Say that louder. And look up at the audience, because you're looking at your boots. I'm going to put that boot down there and look up here. Listen to what he just said. We found a celebration again. What did you say?
So last year, me and my brother decided to compete in a country competition. It was held in Sarnia. It was the first round. And we won that. So we moved on to Chatham. Oh, thank you.
Woo, yeah.
So we moved on to Chatham to the next round. And it was crazy. There was lots of people there and lots of competition, other duos. And we ended up losing by 1 point. But at the end, the judges, they wanted us to move on to the next round. So me and my brother were invited to go to the next round in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where we performed. And we
That's
ended
like
up...
Dolly Parton,
That's
Loretta
Dolly
Lynn
Parton.
town. Hello.
Yeah. It was a beautiful place, like mountains and everything. And everybody's wearing...
They say Dolly Parton came from the mountains and she took them with her. That's what I heard her say one time.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we ended up winning, and we took home 2 trophies. And our hometown, when we arrived back, there were signs everywhere of us just congratulating
Wow, and what's the name of your band?
We're the Brothers Wild.
Say that again.
Brothers Wild.
And how do you spell wild?
WILD, and that's actually my last name. Put an E on the end of that. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, just Brothers Wild Music. So go ahead and do that, everybody.
Cool. Oh, they know how to do that. I'm going to
I know.
figure it out too. Yeah.
So hopefully you'll find us, and you can just keep updated with all our shows and everything, and hopefully you like us. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. That's awesome to hear.
Thank you.
And yourself? Do you want them to join you on Instagram, follow you, see your creative arts? What would you like to say to them that they should learn today? Find something inspirational.
Keep up with your passions, anything you're passionate about. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Just don't let anyone discourage you from doing what you want to do. There's always going to be people putting you down in life, but always keep looking forward, never behind. Don't let things drag you behind in life.
Do you speak your language?
Sadly, I do not.
You don't, eh? Is that something that's happening in the north up there where it's coming
Yes,
back, people are trying? What's going on?
From my community, our language is falling behind, and they've been trying to keep us learning it,
Yep.
but a lot of people don't really pay attention during the classes we're given throughout the summers.
Okay, okay. Well, it's really good to have you guys up here. I have a little gift for you guys for coming and being such amazing people. Let's give these 2 young people a good round of applause. Follow them on their social media. That, again, is a movie pass. 2 tickets, 1 large popcorn, and 1 large pop with 2 straw holes, like the lady in the trap. All right, thank you for coming there, Mr. Wild. And thank you for coming there, Mr. What's the last name again? Whiskey Jack. Whiskey Jack. It's Kardashian, remember? Kardashian. All right, thank you so much. All right, we're going to be looking for a couple more people to give out some passes here, and they've been donated by the First Nations Center, and I want you to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, we have a couple of guests to bring up, and they're quite renowned in their work. I know the one has really figured out a way to give out her passes. I know she's out there somewhere. She's probably a little bit nervous. I don't see her. She's hidden behind. Is she there? Oh, there she is. I see her now. Okay, come on up, Jade. We have Jade here, and she's got a really unique name. So Jade, come on up. Here comes Jade, everybody. Make some noise for Jade. I think your speaker might be on, Jade. Say hi. Test, test, test.
Check.
Come on. Hi, Jade. Come on up. Jade is another real cutie patootie. We're real excited to have her here. Jade, where do you come from?
So, my family is originally from Oneida, so not far from here.
Woo, some Oneida roots.
Yeah.
Wait. Oneida people, when anybody admits they come from Oneida, you always have to make frickin' noise. All right, let's try it again. So, Jade, where do you come from?
I am from Oneida.
All right, it's a good start. So,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got some Oneida roots, so that
Yes.
means you're Oneida-ish.
Yes.
And what other roots do you have? Because this last name is crazy.
Yes.
Patutski or Paputski, what is it?
Pasutka.
Pazutka, yeah.
Yes.
So that is definitely not Oneida because
No.
their last names are like Hugly Hukda Huktuk or something like that, right? There's a lot of huk.
Yeah.
So tell us what Pazutski, Padutka.
Close enough. So my mother is from Oneida. My father is Polish.
Oh, well, that's quite the blend, eh?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. And tell us a little bit more about you. So obviously you're beautiful. You're looking Kardashian yourself. Very smart according to this bio.
It's all lies in
Talented.
there,
It's all,
too,
so you
yeah.
beefed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true Oneida behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, so I work for RBC, so similar to
Woo!
Crystal, I work for a bank. I work downtown Toronto. And
Ooh,
I do,
the 8 million salary close?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
No, I live downtown Toronto, and I do Indigenous sourcing for RBC.
Indigenous sorcery.
Yes, correct.
Sorcery?
Sorcery, yes.
You're like a medicine woman or something?
No, not quite. So
We had this problem last night when we were sitting having popcorn. I was given notes by Daniel Kennedy, and he's a big part of this celebration today, and he said that she was sourcing. And I'd never heard that frickin' word. Anybody ever hear of a sourcing before? Good, so you're like me.
Yeah.
So tell them, because I thought when she said she was a sourcing that she was a sorcerer, then I started calling her Harry Potter, and then she's not a sorcerer, you're a sourcing. But
No.
what the heck is a sourcing? Because that's a career that they probably would want to.
Yeah, for sure. So I am part of human resources. So essentially what I do is I source talent for the bank.
Source
Source
talent.
talent. So I find Indigenous talent for the entire enterprise within Canada.
So like country music entertainment for Christmas parties and banquets?
No, for
No,
roles.
because
for
that's a good
roles,
source,
yeah,
that
yeah,
wild guy.
Yeah. So
Or art over
I
here
do
for
it all.
graphic design with the Kardashian young person.
Yeah, well, we could always use graphic design. That's something that we do need.
Yeah.
So
What
that
are
would be
some of
something-
the what are some of the talents or whatever you source for?
Yeah, so I source across the bank. So I source for capital markets, wealth management, technology, operations, in sales and service, so retail banking as well. So
Okay,
across the
cool.
board, yeah.
And are these students eligible for anything to be sourced?
Yes, 100%, all of you.
How can we source them out then?
Well, I mean, they're a little early on now, but once you hit post-secondary, or even if you decide not to go to post-secondary, which I strongly encourage you do, we do hire into sales and service, but essentially what we're looking for are people that want to learn, people who are adaptable, and people who are good at managing relationships.
Oh, well, these guys are all managing. Have you watched them interact all
I
morning?
did,
They're
yes.
doing really well with the
Yes.
interaction stuff.
Yep.
So now you talked about the need for post-secondary, and that is definitely a benefit for some of us, but
Yeah.
then there's others who don't go that route, and they still can be successful in many ways. So what is your education, and how did you get into this position?
Yeah, so my background had nothing to do with banking. I
Well,
never
you
thought
sound
that
like
I
that
would
other
work.
guest we had
I
this
know,
morning.
I never thought that I would work
Can
for
you
a bank.
count, though?
Barely. Barely. Also, my background, my post-secondary was in criminology. So I started my career off
that works with banks, criminology, banks. We've seen those movies.
It's actually useful now, managing people. So,
yes, for sure, yes.
No, I did criminology. I worked in a prison first off.
Did you?
Then, yes.
What did you do there?
Prison. I was doing admin there, but essentially I did want to move into a corrections type position. But then I switched gears and moved to Toronto, and then kind of fell into banking, which I think is something that happens a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So these guys, you're kind of giving the message that you might choose a career when you're young, but then it could change over time, correct?
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's completely fine. I mean, when you go into post-secondary, you're so young. I wanted to do something completely different. I didn't know what was out there. Just through the process of going through post-secondary, taking on jobs, whether they be in a profession that I wanted or just any type of job, there's a lot of learning that happens there, and you kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Cool. So how could they get involved with RBC? I know there's a variety of programs at RBC that they do with Indigenous, and they're all Indigenous sensitive now, right? Everybody's having to understand us from us.
Yep.
So what are some opportunities that could exist for them based on where you're working?
Yeah, so we do a number of events throughout the year, whether they be just overall diversity type events. So I do a lot of different things with students as well as young professionals. For the most part, I focus on early talent, so people who are entering the workforce and kind of figuring things out there.
Yep.
We do a ton of events if anybody is interested in internships or volunteer. We have a big commitment to youth right now, which is through Future Launch. So there's a lot of different programs. There's the RBC Olympian if anybody's an athlete.
Are there any athletes here that are looking for sponsorship or anybody an athlete here that's looking for those kinds of opportunities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then you mentioned internships. So let's talk about internships, because some of these people will want jobs, some of them won't. And we want to promote that today, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the internship stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a great way to learn about the bank. It's also a great thing to put on your resume. It's a really good experience. Essentially, the point of an internship isn't for you to go in there and do the work out the gate. The whole point of an internship is that you go through this process and you develop. So if you look at a mandate, it may say you need A, B, and C, but that's not what we want for you to have out the gate. Essentially, what we want is for you, once you're done the internship, is to have A, B, and C and be able to advance. A number of our interns come in over the summers, and whether they stay or not, either way, it's a good experience and a good opportunity to build out a network and kind of figure things out.
And what would be a good internship that they might want to consider as at their ages? What's something that you see young people their age willing to look at least?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for the most part, if you're looking at something a little further out from downtown Toronto, we always have client advisors, banking advisors. Through that, we usually encourage our Indigenous interns to build connections with their community, so they won't be in branch every single day. Essentially, we want them to go out and meet people and make those connections.
Well, maybe we can do, because I've got all these movie passes to get out, and you know, some of them like to get off their Netflix and chilling and get out to the real movie and have real popcorn and pop. So maybe we should look for a couple of students that might want to do a bit of a role play on a internship, and maybe how you would help and coach them.
Yeah,
is that something we could do here right now, do you think?
100%.
Do we have 2 students that would be willing to come and learn about the internship program and obviously win a prize? We have one way in the back, so come on there, young fellow, hurry up, fast, fast, fast. And we have someone here, and we'll take this young person here. Come on up real quick. Come up fast. We'll get your name again. I know you told it to me at the break. Duma. So Duma, meet our friend here. Shake hands. Say your name. Hi. And you are?
Carly.
Hi, Carly. This is our other friend here.
Yep, they're pretty nice.
So she's going to tell you a little bit about this internship, and then I think you may need to grab the mic because we might ask you questions, and then we're going to kind of maybe determine if we'd give you the opportunity. I guess you tell them what you would do. So I want you guys to get your acting mode on, right, and be like, "Hi, do you guys remember her name?" That's always important when you try to go and get opportunity. Then she has that weird last name, remember? So how about this? We'll get you to ask her her name and then get that handshake going, and then she's going to give you some tips, all right? So,
Yes, Jalen.
oh my gosh, put your mic there. You should have heard this young person how he spoke. I would hire you just based on that.
I'm sorry about that, but can I get your name again, please?
Yes.
He used, I'm sorry, he said, please, that's amazing. That's a good skill set. So you got the name?
Perfect. All right, awesome. Well, I'll tell you about the role. So it's a summer internship that lasts approximately 4 months. It's a client advisor, so it's an introductory into the world of retail banking. Essentially what you'll be doing is assisting clients through their daily banking needs. You'll be learning about the platforms that we use, but essentially the role will be helping and assisting customers. We want a lot of people to be able to adapt and be able to learn and have that emotional intelligence as well to assist clients.
Did you guys understand that?
Yeah?
Good. So then we're going to ask a question of you. You both get a chance to answer. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why perhaps you'd like an opportunity?
For an opportunity in this kind of situation
Just
right
an
now, or in this
opportunity in
field?
general.
For me, I try and look for any opportunities I can, whether that be in opportunities like this, online, or just looking for even like moments where I know something could happen. Like I can run into, let's say, a judge or somebody who works in the law field. I could go and speak with them, and I have in the past. So that's just how I'm speaking to you now from that experience, but other than
And that takes a lot of confidence, correct? That takes a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So, Jade, I'm going to ask the young lady again. Tell us a little bit about you so we know a little bit extra.
I'm Carly,
Hi, Carly.
and
Tell me a little bit about what you're interested in. What are your interests? What do you like to do?
what do I like to do? I like to work. I like working and coming to school.
Okay.
And yeah,
Perfect.
Which grade are you in?
12.
And which grade are you in, Dumas?
I'm in grade 12.
And then do you have career goals that you're working towards already? What is your career goal that you're looking
Being
at?
a police officer.
Police
Yeah.
officer and yourself?
Fits. I want to be a lawyer.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, and
Okay.
again, I think, Jade, part of this, to get to that goal, you might need summer jobs. So this is,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
still work at RBC and still get to your
Yeah.
police goal or vice versa, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So
I
how
think
would
there's
they
a-
access this information to actually explore this truthfully?
Yeah, so if you are looking for a summer internship, we post in January. Also keep an eye out for the campus recruitment team, which visit a number of colleges and universities across Canada. So they might have job postings on their board, but also on our JobX site, there are postings which will have the word summer and 2020 as the key search words.
And what's the pay like for them if they got on an internship?
Yeah.
Pretty
it-
good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. About 18 to early 20.
Nice.
Somewhere
And would
in
they
there.
have to move and relocate, or
No.
can they be in their area of residence?
Yeah, no, they don't necessarily have to move. It just depends. If they want something very specific, then it would be downtown Toronto or Vancouver, one of the larger major cities. But otherwise, there's branches everywhere, and they're always looking for summer interns.
Cool. Okay, so that's some good information for you guys to know as well.
Yeah.
Let's go back over to you, Jade.
Yes.
So you've got this education. Are you back in school again doing more? Are you done school? Are you just working, living the dream? What's going on?
Just living the dream. No, I am doing my final exams right now. So I'm studying, but I have completed school for right now. That's not to say that I'm not going to go back. I assume I will probably go back in a couple years and relive all of that again.
Cool. So you work like in human resources as well?
Yes,
And
yes.
can you explain to them that field so they'll understand? Like,
Yeah.
well, what is that one of your major roles, human resource?
Yeah, so I am part of the human resources team, but I actually sit in the diversity and inclusion team. So I help with recruitment. So I help recruitment and finding diverse talent. But then on the other end, I help candidates in the interview process. I'm also kind of the welcome wagon, the first point of contact for people once they join RBC to help them navigate the Indigenous space within the bank.
Oh, so it would help with the fact that I'm already kind of an RBC client. So that pre-existing,
That's right. Pulling
you
rank.
you
He's an
probably know the
RBC client.
I mean, you know the product.
Who do you?
so-
Which bank do you deal with?
BMO.
Oh, the competition. Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
you might be
Yeah.
thrown to the side. Your application, girl.
We both share blue, so that's fine.
That's right.
We're close enough, yeah.
Cool. Now, is there a challenge you could give to these people? Because some of them I know will struggle with their confidence. And I find a lot of times in Indigenous communities, we say, well, they won't pick me. Like, they won't pick me, you know? And we have to try and get them to start saying, no, they'll pick you, but they can't pick you unless you apply.
Yeah.
Right? And then I know I get to travel to numerous communities nonstop and try to tell people why confidence is important and put your name in at least, and then at least if you don't get picked, you know you tried and applied, because it could lead to more. And I don't think any organization just tosses all the applications, because we're looking to give people opportunity, correct? So is there anything specific, or is there anything more they should know about looking at the opportunities that RBC has? Because I know many who have gone through and had amazing, amazing opportunities. Is there anything else they should know if they seriously are looking for change?
Yeah, I think just taking the chance and actually applying and going through that process. Because I never thought that I would work at a bank. I never thought that I would work at a large organization.
Stop. Wait, stop. I hate when people say that I never thought. How come you never thought that?
I don't really know. I think it was probably a reflection of where I came from and what I grew up with and all of that.
So can you give us a little behind the scenes? Like,
for sure.
What did you come from, and what did you grow up with in a snapshot? Or Snapchat, sorry.
I mean, growing up, it was definitely a lower class family, for sure, struggling. So my mother was unemployed, and then my father worked like a kind of like a trades job, which actually is a wonderful choice now, but unfortunately, where he was, it was definitely low pay. So I always kind of was brought up with, like, you have to work hard, you have to go to school, you have to learn these things, or else you're going to live within that cycle of poverty. So
Sounds like good parents, and obviously it worked, right? Because you're downtown Toronto, that's expensive. Good job, RBC, good organization. Right, so has your confidence been on a steady journey to increase? And what is one of the hardest things, I guess, that you do in your job that you kind of say, oh, I can't do that, but then you say, oh, but I just did it?
Honestly, everything. But I mean, it's a slow process, and taking the help from everybody around me. Like, this wasn't just one person that gave me an opportunity and then I took it and then it evolved from there. There were numerous people at every single point that helped me in different ways. So without all of them, I don't think I would be as confident and as advanced in my career as I am today.
Cool. And is there another long-term goal coming shortly?
Long-term? Buying a house,
yes,
I suppose,
one
day. In terms of my career, I just want to keep on advancing, kind of taking every little piece, learning where I can. I'm still very early on in my career, so there's definitely a lot of opportunities for me to learn.
And how long have you been with the bank?
I've been there for 3 years.
Cool, and that's a good start, correct?
And in my role for a year, so I'm
and
quite
did you
new.
go there right after school, or did you work elsewhere before that?
No. I went the criminology corrections route for a little bit. Turned out it wasn't something for me. I took some time off. I actually kind of did random jobs here and there, trying to figure out what I was interested in, what I liked, what I was good at. So I worked in a pub, I served, I bartended, did that for a number of years, and then was given the opportunity to take on a training role within HR.
Okay. Now we have students that are from the way north, right? And sometimes that's a different access for them to get going. So what would you say to our group of guests from the Northwestern Ontario area? Can they still be involved? Because I don't know, is there an RBC in Sioux Lookout?
Nope.
What bank is in Sioux Lookout? BMO, oh, the competition. You guys will have to talk to her then about her opportunities. But what about for them who are coming? Do you help bring them down? What are opportunities for the people who are from remote? And that's even some of our own communities live away, right? And they have to try to get into work. So what opportunities or what supports are there for that, if any?
Well, we have a lot of programs, whether they be internships or full-time opportunities that are Indigenous specific. So kind of helping people, we do like a holistic approach. If you're out in a little bit more remote of an area, there's always online options as well. And that's essentially where all the banks are moving to, is automation online, being able to work from home, things like that. So we're slowly moving into that era. So it doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities. It's just kind of accessing the online world a little bit more.
Okay, I believe you have a question from you.
I noticed something you continue to speak about, the online capabilities of working within the banking field. And I would just like to say that, especially for the people from northern communities, the internet is such an incredible medium that connects everywhere together. It's like almost as, in comparison to each other, you could say we're far away, but when you include that we both have the internet, we're almost as close as we are now.
Well, heck, they have iPods and igloos. They're doing surgeries through television, you know, so the internet has opened up a whole new world of good, but it also has opened up a whole new world of caution, right? So.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want to thank my two little young ones for coming up and talking and sharing and doing a little bit of a role play. I want to get ready for our next guest, but before we do that, I got to talk to Jade one last time. So Jade, obviously Fanshawe's brought us here to share, to enlighten, to, you know, showcase whatever we have, whether it's personal journey, whether it's professional journey. What is the one thing that no one said to you that you wish would have been said that would have got you to believe more in yourself? Or was there something that someone always said that made you realize, I am so ready for more? Because that's my theme for today, is to be more, to do more, to love more, live more. And you seem to be doing all those more things. So was there something that someone didn't say, or was there something that someone always said that got you to where you are?
I think there was definitely somebody who kind of jump-started my career, and she was is still the executive director of Ms. Week, which is an Indigenous employment and training office downtown Toronto. And she was my manager, but also a mentor, and she really pushed me to take on those learning opportunities and kind of gave those little words of wisdom here and there to kind of help me in being more confident and taking on those opportunities and believing in myself. So she definitely took a chance on me, and I think it worked out okay.
Cool. And do you want to mention the name of the person? Because I think it's, you know, in the Indigenous culture, we're so impassioned about acknowledging who helps and who does. So who was that person at Ms. Away Beak?
Yes, her name is Nancy Martin.
Awesome. Okay, so if anybody knows the Nancy Martin, please let it be known that she's being acknowledged today. All right, I'm going to get you to slide over. I have another guest. She's electrifying. She's with Hydro One. I believe she's back there. Please welcome one of my dear little cousins, Alicia Sayers. Come on down, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. How are you? Looking beautiful. Loving the earrings. Yes, look at you. Brows on perfectly. Come on in. There's a little gift there, too. So, Alicia, that's Jade. Jade, that's Alicia. Two very strong Indigenous women doing amazing things and looking the part as well, professional, you know, all that good stuff. So, Alicia, tell us, even though I know lots about you, I'm going to pretend I don't know anything.
Sounds good.
She comes from my home res, but she also comes from the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Manitoulin Island.
Manitoulin Island, yeah. Woot woot. So, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, hi everyone. Nice to meet you all. As Dave said, I'm Alicia, but I always, when I'm in these spaces, I try to introduce myself from my traditional language. So, Bojoani, Ogamakwe, Dishnakaz, Wase, Rorum, Kitkanzi, Yiron Jaba. So I just want to say miigwech for letting me be here, for all you guys being here as well. I know that some of you guys have traveled super far.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been up that way too, so I love going up north. I've been to Sioux Lookout a couple times. But again, I'm saying thank you. I'm supposed to talk about me, and I'm like, thank you guys all for being here.
Yeah, you sound like you're accepting your Grammy Award or something, yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Garden River. I grew up on the res.
Do you guys know where Garden River even is, anybody?
Thank you.
Only like four of you? You guys know where Barrie is? Okay, it's
you
past
guys know
there.
north. They know north.
You know where Sudbury is? It's past there. So she's come a long way. You clean up well, though. You clean up well.
Well, thank you.
So you're from Garden River, and now you hit the big time. For a long time. Right?
I'm very shy sometimes, or like very
really? When?
quiet. Like you can.
When
so
offline?
Like, you're like the big. I'm like, yeah, I live in Toronto.
Yes, you told me today.
Yes,
what did you tell me
do.
when we saw each other in the locker room? Ooh, that doesn't sound good.
I'm like,
that doesn't sound
just
good.
hanging
being
out
in
in the locker room,
right?
guys.
But tell them what you told me about the big city. You're
Oh, okay. Yeah, I grew up in the Garden River. I went to school in the Sioux, but when I was applying out to go to university, I was like, I want to get out of the res. I want to see what else is out there.
Wait, that's controversial. What are you talking about?
I love my home. I love my community. I miss it every day, and I do go back whenever I can. But when I was younger, I wanted to get out there. I was fortunate to have family who took us out, and I said I wanted to get out, and I applied, and I went to university, and I landed in a place called Brantford, Ontario, which is just, around here somewhere.
Half a lip point.
A little bit.
Half a lip.
Half a lip point. So I went there, and it was very much like my hometown, but it was only an hour away from Toronto. And then in the summertime, I applied for jobs in the city of Toronto because I wanted to be there. So I was like, how can I get there but still make money? So that's how I got introduced to the city of Toronto.
And it can be very expensive living in the city, correct?
The cost of living is high, and I think even especially for us, for somebody who's live in the north, you know what it's like for anything really to cost a lot of money. But
Yeah, for sure.
definitely in the city of Toronto, it does cost.
So what did
money.
you study?
I went to school for journalism. When I was in high school, I enjoyed writing. I liked doing storytelling. A lot of people, you know, are Indigenous. Our culture is based on storytelling.
Yes, for sure.
And I really enjoyed journalism at that time, so I hopped into journalism school. And when I got there, I quickly realized I did not want to be a reporter. I did not want to live that news reporter lifestyle, but I still wanted to be a part of
Can you
communications.
do something for my brother right now?
What?
Because he's coming up next too, and he loves, because he had a mentor when he was a
Quajiga
child that
News.
did,
Sorry.
her name was Nancy Pine, and she worked for MCTV
Yeah.
News, and she would be on TV and she'd go, Nancy Pine, MC, TV News.
That's
So
when
can
you're
you
from north,
say,
that's how everyone knows,
can
like-
you say your name and just say MCTV News at the end?
MCTV?
Yeah, stand up with your mic like you're doing a podcast here, and just do that for Dan. He'll love that.
All right, so this
All
goes out to
right,
Dan.
then you're doing the story. We'll pretend we were talking and she's behind us. So go ahead and then just say, this is Alicia Sayers, MC, TV News.
This is Alicia Sayers, MC TV News.
Wow, yes. Oh my gosh, I just want to watch your news show. Cool. So you studied journalism, but you're not in journalism.
I was like, this is not the lifestyle I want to live, so I flipped to what we call public relations.
What's that mean?
So basically, I help, whether it's an organization or a company or even a community, tell their story their way. So instead of going to find the stories, I help those people tell their stories, and I do work with a lot of journalists and news outlets. So I do very work in my space that I actually wanted to be in.
So if there's anybody that likes to write, anybody that likes to read, anybody that likes to promote, that's
100%.
something to consider?
There's so many jobs out there, and when I was growing up, I like to do websites. I used to make my own, like MySpace, Knet, like I did a whole bunch of things, and I didn't realize that creative space was actually showing me something that I enjoyed. So when I did summer student jobs, I helped companies build their websites. But that's just a little bit about my past, and I didn't realize all that built into what I do today. So if you like telling stories, it could be communications, internal communications. There's so many different spaces out there in this, I would say the working industry.
Yep.
But yeah.
And tell them who you work for, because they're quite the big entity, just like RBC, and it's
like-
such a wonderful chance to be here today. Know our people are in these major entities.
So like Jade and Crystal who've been on the stage,
Yep.
well, we know about banks and money, it's been around, and we have power and electricity. I didn't know Hydro One is the company that I work for, so actually Hydro One is the local service provider for many of the communities, for people who are in this room. But for me, from Garden River First Nation, my lights are powered by a different company, Algoma Power. So when I first was looking for a summer job, I was looking for a company that had actually a First Nations and Métis Relations department, and they had programs that were designated for Indigenous students like myself. So that's how I got exposed to Hydro One. And once I entered into this company and learned what they did, I was like, I want to come back. I want to be here. I enjoy the work that we do. I enjoy that we keep the lights on. And I worked in a different space, and I was still getting, a lot of the education, relevant experience that I was looking for. So it really just fit well. We are the largest utility in Ontario. We have about 8,000 staff. And I am super proud to be able to, represent my company, to be a part of it, and to go into work every day. So I really do like.
So that obviously took confidence to apply, to consider. Did you have, like she has, a little self-doubt every now and then?
I'm laughing because you're like confidence. I'm like, I don't even. That wasn't something that I really thought about. It was just about doing stuff, trying things, and like knowing that I had to progress, or knowing that I wanted to do something more. And just keep challenging myself. So it kind of came as you went, and a big thing that I believe in is fake it till you make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm very shy. I have social anxiety, and I make a point to say that.
Wait, you guys mess me up all the time. Like, how does this, you're smiling, you look amazing, you're making eye contact. Do you guys believe her that she's shy?
Like, I'm beyond shy. I'm very, very shy.
How?
Like, sometimes if I get too shy, I will
I'd hate
cry.
to see if you're really shy. If this is
me shy.
shy.
I brought this pen up for a reason, so I have something to play with and fidget with while I'm on the stage. But yeah, so I make a point to say that, like, even though I do this type of role, I'm a company spokesperson, so I deal with the media. I'm extremely shy. I prefer to be behind the scenes. I don't need to be here. I like to support community and support, the company that I work for, and that's what I enjoy doing. But yeah.
Did you have mentors in your life? help you get to this spot?
I was listening to you ask those questions to Jade, and I was like, oh, whoa, these are intense. I'm very fortunate to have a family. I have 3 older sisters who I look up to
And I know
immensely.
them. Woot woot.
My oldest sister, she's a vice principal. She's an educator. I have another sister. She's a director. She works at police services. And my other sister, Naomi Sayre, she's a lawyer, and she does a whole bunch of activism and work. So I was very fortunate to have 3 people to look up to know what to do, but also what not to do. You know, I think we're all young, and we have lives, and we're
For
people,
sure.
and we learned a lot.
And,
So
and you're
those-
the baby of the family.
yeah, I'm what many call the baby.
So
of
you're the spoiled, rotten, get your way.
I would say the forgotten. Like, yes, I'm like thought about a lot, but you're the baby, right? You're the baby. You're just the baby. You're the young one. You're
And
definitely allowed
Jade,
to
are
be,
you a
but I'm-
baby as well? Or
I'm
where?
the oldest.
You're the oldest. Oh, okay, so we have the oldest who gets nothing, and we got the youngest who gets everything, eh?
Yeah, so like I do feel love, but yeah, I look at my sisters. I look up, I have good guidance, and my mom and my dad, incredible. My dad was, you talked about being a tradesperson. My dad was a tradesperson. He was a very big supporter of his union, and I saw how he was able to build a life and support for us. So I had that to look up to as well.
So there's obviously opportunities. We have young people looking into trades, et cetera. What are opportunities that your business over there, Hydro One, has for these people
There's
to
so
consider?
many, and I'm not just going to promote Hydro One. I'm going to promote the electricity sector, something that's never really going to go away. We all have lights, we all depend on electricity, so there's so much opportunity within that space that I didn't know existed. So whether if it's at Hydro One, or if it's at Synergy North, which is in Thunder Bay, or other places like here in London, there's lots of opportunities, whether it's in engineering. I didn't know what that was, but I'm definitely encouraged, if I have offspring, to explore the engineering field. There's, like I said, I went to journalism school, but somehow I ended up working for, a company and a corporation, and I'm very proud of that. It could be trades. Most of our workforce is tradesperson. We work in the field. They keep the lights on. That's who I like to support a lot, and the people behind the scenes who design those towers that you see along the road, those big towers or power lines in your home community. That's us for most part. And honestly, the jobs they do change from people who do clerical work, corporate work, trade work. It really does. There's so many opportunities
And does your
that
organization...
I didn't know even existed in there too.
Right, and does your organization have a lot of opportunity for Indigenous people to start?
100%. I mentioned earlier that I got introduced to the company by way of a program. And that's what I say, like, there's lots of things out there, and if you don't apply or don't put your foot forward, you'll never know what is possible. So I just put my resume, I just put my foot forward, and I was like, let's see, and they ended up offering me that opportunity. And now the company, I really do stand behind them and what they do from working with Indigenous communities and peoples. We do have a partnership with Inspire where we do give scholarships out,
Right.
and we do have our summer student program there. It still exists, and it's what allowed me to put my foot in the door.
Cool, well, that's amazing. So I guess there's a lot that can be said from just the simple word hello, right?
Yeah, even if you're shy, because I'm very shy, sometimes it's even hard for me to say hi.
And I think that's something that you guys need to know. When you meet people like our guests here today, if you just say the word hello, they're veterans and know what to do next for you. So if you're looking for opportunities, whether it be Hydro One, RBC, Turtle Concepts, or whoever else is in the building, start with the word hello and then watch what happens. And I know that we go through the journey when we're young of self-doubt and what can we do, but you've got teachers here who can remind you, you've got chaperones, you've got all kinds of people willing to assist you to get to that next spot. So what we're going to do with you girls, because it's such an easy word to learn, I got some mics here, so if you want to grab a mic, I know that hello leads to so much, and it's a good start. So we're going to have a bit, because I know you're all corporate, and you got to be all so professional, and you got to be, but I bet you at the end of the day when you go home, you
let it all
must tear
out.
it down Friday night with your $8.3 million salaries,
Oh my
which you
God.
probably don't have, but you want to get there. But you probably just have
I want
fun, right?
happiness. I want happiness.
You want happiness. You want happiness at all?
Just to be happy and
And,
balanced
and
life.
the 8 point.
And the 8 million, that'll help with the happiness. But what do you do in your spare time for fun? I know you dance, and you just came back to dancing,
Yeah,
right?
so I grew up in our, in our cultural ways, and I was fortunate to be a part of that.
Well,
so
I think that's
danced-
how I've known you your whole life. It's just cultural. You're like, you were practically born in a regalia. Yeah.
So, I stopped dancing when I went to school. I went to university because other things take a part of your life.
Yeah.
And I do experience a lot of health issues. So I was able to go back to our, our healers and medicine men. And one thing that I really wanted to do is actually come back into the circle. So I worked on my regalia. You know, I had people help me, and I was very, very happy last year or not last year, a couple of years ago, to start dancing again.
Cool. And what style do you dance?
So I dance traditional,
Awesome.
women's
Yes.
traditional.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are there any other dancers in the audience? People that dance at the powwow circle? Raise your hand. Any dancers? Nobody dances at all, just a couple. Put your hands way up so we can see. That's something to be super proud of.
I'm like, I'm not the only one
Awesome.
in here.
Any boys dance at all in the powwow circuit?
And it's okay if you don't too, right?
And that's okay, yeah, for sure. It's dance or don't dance, right? And how about you? What do you do for fun?
Me, I cook. I hang out with friends. Yeah.
Cool. Have you ever lip synced? Like grabbed the
Not
old hairbrush and
regularly,
just
not
belted it
regularly,
out,
but
or the
yeah.
spoon in the kitchen and just
I definitely did that on my way here, driving here.
did that on your
I
way
didn't
here?
realize that.
Well, that's what we want to do with you now. We want to have a little bit of a lip sync battle so we can see you guys with your big professional coats off and your homegirl, get it done, put it out there. So you guys want to see them have a little bit of a lip sync battle here to see what they look like behind the scenes? It'll make them more approachable, I believe. So we've got a couple of mics. We want to give a chance to a student as well, and we don't have another mic due to budget, but we have an Indigenous mic. So we need a student to come and battle with them on this lip sync battle. Is there a student willing to come up and have a battle with them? We'll go. We've got two. Okay, we'll give you this one. So there you go. Oh, and I have another one over here. So come on up, sweetie. We have one for you as well. Is there anybody else? I got another lip sync. All right, we got this one over here. Come. And we'll give you a pen. So come on. This is for you. This is for you. And you're all going to battle at the same time.
At the same time.
All right, so come on up. You're getting the high. This is the technical one. Now spread out. Well, what we're trying to do is promote. Oh, look at you taking away all the shine. Move over. This girl's very competitive. She will throw you down and have an Indian leg wrestle. So get over here, girl. All right, so the way it'll work, you guys are going to make sure that you choose the one who knows how to battle well, and they got to have a little bit of excitement to it, some body language. It's not one of those back in the band office like that, all right? Put it out there. So I know that Alicia's sister is like, you guys may have heard of Beyonce. Well, she has a sister who works at the police services, and she's like Tay-once in our house. And so you guys, I know you all do this at home. I can tell just by your body language. You're like, shut up and play the frickin' song. So the song is none other than the message that the girls are trying to communicate, that a simple hello goes a long way. So it's none other than Adele, and the song is Hello. And that's where it's going. So if you don't know it, put your microphones up front and high. But if you do know it, just lip the words hello. Are you ready? I think we're queued up. I hope it's really good and loud. Make sure you've got the whole thing. If I give you a point, that means you have your chance to roam alone, and it's smackdown, like get them, like dog eat dog, chihuahua going down. Are you ready? Are you guys ready to see this lip sync battle from these professionals against the students? Who will win today? All right, I believe we're ready. Hit it, DJ. I think we're going to have maybe a showdown. So I want to thank you for coming. You were really good, so thank you. And your gift is all the sandwiches you want from the back, okay? Thank you so much. And you can keep the spoon as a memento. Thanks so much. You too, you were really awesome. Thank you. You can keep that too. I didn't even drink it, you know, I'll keep it. Thank you so much. You as well, you were incredible. Thank you so much. You, just because you have to be up here, sit down. We got to get you to watch. And you two are going to have something that we do on the res. It's time for an arm wrestle Friday night. All right. Get down. We will tear this down right here. Oh, listen to the technique. You should hear the smack they're talking. She's saying, oh, you think you can dance? I will show you. You don't do nothing. She's really aggressive, this young. Where are you from? Wallaceburg. That explains it all right there. Yes. Well, this girl comes from Manitoulin. She's got half roots there and half roots in Garden. You don't even know on a Friday night what goes down in our reses. So sit down, girl. Get ready. Arms out. You want to do some push-ups first? No. Okay, so let's get down. Get ready. You're leash because you're my cousin. I'm going to help you out. Loosen up. Loosen up. Help her out over there, okay? Help her out. Loosen her up. Okay, you should be coaching because that's your job. Coach her. I got this one. Wait. You're going to hold hands. That's not an Indian arm wrestle. What the heck? It's all truth and reconciliation happening. We're like SmackDown time. Come on, get on your knees and get ready to tear it down. You guys want to see them wrestle here? Of course you do. That guy does. All right. Praying. That's important to honor for sure. Okay, praying to win or just praying? You should hear what they're saying to each other. It's horrible. Horrible. We are ready. When I say go, I'm going to count in Ojibwe. So when you hear the word niswe, that means 3 and go, all right? Basic. Knee. Ooh. Niswe, go. Come on, Alicia. Come on, Alicia. Come on. Oh, man. Dang it. Dang it. So you are the winner. And you as well, you get to take home one of those big tables in the back for bingo and stuff. So you go back there, okay? Thank you so much. Again, what we're trying to show you is that these people have real lives. They work hard all day, they play hard all day, but they have real lives and they have fun. And I've known of Alicia for a long time. She's a wonderful spirit. I love that she's culturally relevant. I love that she's proud. When she gets back to the bush, back home, she loves to be in the land, but she also loves being in the city. And I think that's important for you all to know. That wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's good, especially if it's positive and especially if it's healthy. Now, earlier in the morning, I told you guys about someone who I slept with, and I can tell you a little bit more about that person because I sleep with him often. We travel quite a bit, and it's my little brother. So I want to bring on my next guest. This is my little brother. Please welcome my little brother, Daniel Jones. Come on down, Daniel. Fanshawe, I think you've been down the area before. You're seeing your cousin, you're meeting some new people. They're all doing incredible things, and you have the longest of hair from all of them. Yeah. So that's cool because we are trying to promote the power of hair and all that good stuff, and you're looking pretty fly, pretty flashy. So tell us why you're here and what career do you promote?
Well, I actually promote a few careers.
Is he on? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear him? Can't hear you, I don't think. Where's your mic?
Now can you hear me?
Can you hear him now in the back?
Hello, hello, hello.
Up there, now
can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so why are you here?
So I actually represent, like my life represents a few different careers. Primarily, I do work and travel with Turtle Concepts, which my brother, like he said, and we get into a lot of different areas, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, speaking about our lives and how basically sharing my story of who I am, the person I am today.
And as I said to them earlier, I did get to stay with you. Daniel and I are 15 years different. I'm 55, he's down in 40. And so we've been raised with confidence and culture and living a good life, just like these young people are doing. So how was that growing up in Garden River First Nation for you and trying to be confident as what we're talking a little bit about today?
Well, if I could just finish the first part of that question, I also have a background in fashion. I'm also a brand ambassador for a major Canadian designer, and I also do runway modeling. So
I'm not sure if that's being, can you hear that back there? No, I don't think they can hear you at all. I don't think your mic is on. Maybe grab the handheld for now if there's a problem.
hello?
Oh. Do you want my mic? I think mine's on.
Hello?
All right, so let's answer that one more time. We'll
Okay,
roll back
so
the tape.
basically to go back to the first question, in addition to working with Turtle Concepts, I am a brand ambassador for a major Canadian designer, Pascal Labelle, out of Montreal. And with that, I also do runway modeling. And then I also have a background in fashion. That's what I studied at post-secondary.
So you left the res to study fashion where?
I left the res to study fashion at George Brown College in Toronto.
And how was that program to study?
It was intense. There's a lot of work, a lot of hours, and it's only 2-year programs. So a lot condensed into a 2-year college diploma.
Now, was that something you worked towards? Because that's it's almost like a non-res position, although now I see there's Native Fashion Week coming up in Thunder Bay, there's Native fashion shows going on. So how did you long ago decide to do fashion as a career?
It's actually, I can remember I was in grade 5 and I was at a portable outside of my school, St. Hubert School, same school that Alicia went to. But for some reason that year, the grade 5 class had to be in a portable outside, and we were exploring potentially some careers, and I had said to myself and my peers, I guess, that that's what I wanted to do. But I think it was just at the time I had like a little obsession with maybe getting some Ralph Lauren clothes or whatever. But turns out I did end up going to study that at college with one of my best friends, and we made it work. I always had a creative and style kind of interest and edge, so that's what I decided to study.
Cool, and is that a career where you can make a good living? Is that something that you chose to stay with? Because I know you used to do fashion presentations at the Canadian Aboriginal Festival at the Skydome Powwow, as it was known back in the day, and now you're on the runway. So how does fashion lead to a good career, or at least a good base?
Well, it's a major, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's never going to go away because people always need to be clothed. So I guess it depends on the area that you want to pursue, but in this day and age with social media and Instagram, it's a lot of the traditional methods that were when I started out are no longer today. But it's a pretty much Wild West kind of thing. You can go out and do whatever you want to do.
Cool. Well, if you look even at Alicia right now, right? Look at her earrings.
I know.
Like those are 80s. Like that's Dynasty Dallas. Like, you know, those are the glam of the day. So
and those are everywhere these days.
That's everywhere you look.
Yeah.
You see people wearing the beaded, you know, from the south, from the north. And now you just traveled back from Nunavut, and they had some crazy fashion up there. Tell the audience about what they do with their fashion. And as you all know, land is important to our people, but we were just up in Nunavut, and there's a movie that you all need to see. It's called The Grizzlies. Find it. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we hang out with those people, and some of those Grizzlies will be coming on a tour with us, but you got to see some cool Inuit fashion.
I did.
Tell them about the code,
so
tell them about the
basically,
myths.
where we went to a community called Kugaluktuk, and it was a population of about 1,800 people, I think, and they use everything. So while I was up there, I ate seal blubber, whale blubber called muktak, raw fish eggs, or raw fish, because that's just their way of life. But everything that they use, that they kill to eat, they also have purposes. So actually one thing for me, this really cool woman ended up making me a pair of sealskin mitts that I got to go home with, and it took her not even 12 hours to make. I ran into her at a school that we were at, and I was trying on all of these mitts because I wanted to go home with something authentic from their area, and all their mitts were too short because the people up there, like, traditionally are a little bit smaller, so my big hands, and like, I'm 6'2", all the mitts were like not even covering up the heels of my hands. So I asked her if she could make me a longer pair of mitts, And sure enough, I got to go home with one.
And she made them overnight,
She
right?
made them
That
overnight.
was
She
crazy.
came and found me the next day somewhere in the community where they just asked her out, and she's like, I'm done your meds. So I was like, sweet.
Now tell them about the jacket that our coworker put on.
So there's these traditional jackets, and I'm not sure what they're called, but they're like what you would see on documentaries and stuff like
Yes.
that, like big fur sunbursts, they're called. Sunbursts?
That's the hood part,
That's
yes?
the hood part, but then long fur coats to the ground for arms. But it turns out that this gift was given to her by her mother over 30 years ago, and the woman who was showing us it had just finished making it. But it was made out of 60 squirrel pelts.
Yeah, squirrel. And if you want to see the picture later, ask Dana and we'll show you the fashion of the community. But it was squirrel. So when you think about our squirrels down south, maybe they're like this. Well, the squirrels there are much larger. And I was like, when the elder and I were talking, Dan and I were having all this raw food and, a little bit nervous, but then it's like, well, we want to immerse ourselves in the Inuit culture. So when I saw the squirrels, and in their language, the word for squirrel is hikik. So can you guys all say that? Hikik. That's a squirrel. Then I finally saw this thing go running across the street. And I said, what was that? Thinking it was a wolverine or something. It was a freaking big ass, huge squirrel. So no wonder they used 60 of them to make this coat, and just beautiful design. Then the elder also explained how they use everything from the animal like most of our people did, where the bones became jewelry, the bones became utensils. There was a ulu, there was just so many cool things. And I know, Daniel, that you like to promote confidence, acceptance, love, all that good stuff. Tell everybody about the community and what you, as a non-social worker, was so impressed about by the people. And I believe we have that same behavior happening here today at Fanshawe.
Yes. So just to expand, like Dave said, I'm not a social worker. Obviously, I mentioned I have a background in fashion. I also have a background in health and fitness. But the minute that we got there, the people, the culture, the food, everything about the place was so positive, uplifting, and really awesome to see.
Cool. So they were just comfortable with who they were.
They were happy. They were like, we'd be walking around this little tiny community and be like, hey, like just stop and approach you, talk to you. And it was really cool to see, because I find sometimes in a lot of maybe Indigenous areas, I find that maybe sometimes our people tend to take the back burner or not be as forward. So it was really refreshing to see people stepping out of their comfort zones and being so welcoming to new strangers in their community.
Cool. Well, we've talked a little bit about confidence and what's involved. So how much confidence is needed to be in a fashion show?
I think a lot. Well, yeah, a lot. I never looked at it from a perspective of not having confidence, because it's kind of just been a part of who I am since I was a little kid. So when I was asked to be in a runway show, and it was only done for me to do a favor of a friend, I just was like, hell yeah, I'll be in your runway show, because I was ready to do it. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's important for us as Indigenous people to explore all the variety of cultures, even within just the bank? You said there's tons of career. You said within yours, it's tons, right? Do you think it's time for our people, our new generations, to just go crazy with what is available to them?
Well, I think they definitely need to, if those are areas of interest, then go for it, like full steam ahead. Don't hold back, like get uncomfortable, push yourself, and because opportunities will pass you by all the time. You know what I mean? So find that want to be able to go out and make something.
Cool. Now, I want to talk to all three of you. So this is going to be a group discussion, and then we're going to get out to the audience for some questions. But there seems to be these challenges sometimes in our communities where people will look at someone who's successful, and I've heard in my work, crabs in a bucket, people get mad, people get jealous, people don't know how to rejoice in someone who tries to achieve better. So is there any of that in your journey where people were hard on you and you had to overcome even your own people trying to, I'll say, keep you down? Although I sincerely don't think that's what they want. They just don't know how to receive greatness. And I know of, young women who are being called bad names because they try to be glamorous. I know of young men who are being called bad names because they're trying to be confident. And I don't think any elder or anybody in any program anywhere, and I was raised with my culture, and they always told you it was with having a good heart and using a good mind and making sure you were very sound with what you said. But has that happened to any of you whereby you had to defend confidence and where it was troublesome or confusing at times, and you're all willing to, you know, I hope you all can respond to something there. Was there any of that in your life?
Well, if I could start, I think in my experience, some of the, like a lot of that can sometimes come from within your own home or your own family or your really close family. And I don't know if it's done on a way of just kidding, but some of my even biggest challenges have come from my own mother, for example, or, you know, siblings where it makes you question and think, your reaction is not necessarily what I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Well, I know, like, we had a ceremony this summer at home. We had a feast with Mom, and tell them that example. And the reason we share this with you, and these guys choose to come on these kinds of opportunities, is so that you know how to cope better. But tell them what happened to you this summer with your aunt, and it was confusing, right?
So we had a ceremony for my mother who was coming into a different stage in her life this summer. And just to make the story really quick, I wore a big native choker. And I'm always experimenting with fashion and whatever. Obviously, look at me today. I don't normally go around like this on my day-to-day. I kicked it up a notch for the event today. But I wore a big native choker, and one of my aunts, who I'm very close with, she can be a little bit rough around the edges at times, I guess you'd say. She commented when I came into the room, she said, "Oh, you're really trying hard to be native today." And I kind of like paused for a second, and then how I responded was, "So what you're saying is that you really like my choker. Thanks, Auntie." And then I just carried on doing what I was doing. So.
And I think what you need to hear from all of the guests and some of what Fanshawe is trying to promote today is that we are evolving at an alarming rate, hence all the social media, hence all the people with perfect eyebrows nowadays. Like, we can't deny that times have changed, but we have to allow and accept that when change comes and it's healthy and it's positive and it makes someone feel good about themselves, we have to accept that, whether it's country music, whether it's sexuality, whether it's dyeing your hair blonde, wearing lipstick, stepping out of your comfort zone and doing a lip sync. You know, we just have to come into the spot where we say, that's a cool thing. And our little kids are looking for those kind of role models. So it's tragic for me when I hear people being knocked by their own when we should really be embracing what we've told people to do for years. I bet you all of you have been told to be yourself, correct? You've all been told to be inspired, to know where you come from, to be culturally relevant and proud, correct? So I think we have to talk about that sometimes. Now over to Alicia and over to yourself. Did you ever have that where you had to defend some of your greatness when you got to be greater?
I never really thought of it that way, but I think people, like, I don't want to speak for everyone in the room either, but for my experiences as an Indigenous person, people just challenged me because of who I was, being First Nation, so I experienced that. Yep. It wasn't necessarily my own community trying to bring me down, or I even hate saying that because I really actually did feel supported. And if those messages that weren't a part of my vibe or, you know, weren't supportive of me, I had to tune those out because that is out there. And I think everyone can be that way, like you said, unintentionally. Yeah, for sure. But it's just remembering to be, you know, have that good heart and to be who you are and be honest.
For sure, because we want our people to do well. That's, I think that's 100%. A common.
Like, I look in this room and I'm like, I want you guys all to do whatever you want to do, whether that's going to school, like education, like whatever it is. I actually want to see you guys succeed. That's how I feel about our people and Indigenous youth especially.
And even over to you, Jade, like, you know, because you were raised off reserve, you said, right? But who cares where you were raised? If you identify as Indigenous, we have to welcome you back. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So did you ever have any of those experiences where you were doubtful or where you were like, oh, gee, I don't know if I'm allowed? Like,
yeah, no, because I grew up off reserve, my mother was adopted out. So it's been a journey to go back and discover our family and go through that entire process, but there was definitely some points where, because I grew up off reserve and I was going through that journey of learning, where I did feel some resentment from certain individuals, but because I wasn't necessarily a part of growing up on reserve. I was able to be a part of numerous different communities, whether they be out in Brantford or Toronto, and I was always welcomed with open arms. So that kind of changed my perspective, even though you may have some negativity here and there, but essentially just looking forward and kind of ignoring it as best as you can.
And I think that's such a beautiful thing to hear from all of you, that you are able to turn negatives into positives and to carry on with what you choose to be. And if it's healthy and it's positive and it's amazing and you can give back, I think that's what this is all about, correct? Yeah. Awesome. I want to give a chance for the audience if they have a question for these three guests that are here. Is there anybody that has a question, or of myself, a thought that you'd like to ask so that they can interact with you for a couple of minutes? Then we have to take a picture. We all have to look up there before you all leave and stuff. But is there anybody that has a question for anybody that's up here at the stage today? Anybody with a question or a thought?
I have a question for the people in the room.
Oh, okay, over here. I was like, where did that come from? I thought that was the creator talking, but I was like, where did that come from?
My bad. I'll wait.
Somebody had a question or a thought? Was there someone over there that you saw, Alicia?
No, I thought you said someone was over there.
Oh, yeah, no, just looking for someone that might have.
I just want to know, does anyone know what they want to do when they grow up? You do? That's amazing. I was one of those people who kind of had an idea but didn't have an idea. And honestly, like, what I say, just keep going. You looked at, like, I didn't realize I'd end up here. Like, that's okay. I got into university, didn't want to do that, so I changed my path. And you mentioned that as well. So I think that's just really important to be aware of. You don't have to know all the answers, but you just have to have, like, a passion and a purpose. And we all do.
Yes, for sure.
That sounds very like, this is what you got to do, but that's not what I'm trying to get across.
Right, and just like some of the guests said earlier in the day, if you start off with this passion and it changes, that's okay. You don't beat yourself up, but you continue to try and find something, hopefully, that makes you feel good about your job. Because I think there's a lot of people who work, but they're not as happy, and it sounds like you guys are very happy with your positions.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else question or a thought out there? Well, again, we want to give you the opportunity to get connected to these individuals. If you have any kind of question towards them about career and opportunity, you can find them all on the internet. You can find them through social media. There's so much available for you. I hope that some of you will take opportunity and perhaps be working for RBC, maybe be over at Hydro One, or maybe be into fashion and yoga, etc., or even decide to open your own company and just do amazing things. It's been a really good day to connect with many of you. I know we have to take a picture, and the young man, if you all look up there, he's trying to capture a picture for us where we will all wave. So can you all look his way? Put your best game on. Put some hard rock posture there. Shoulders up, lips on. Give a little bit of a wave. All right, now change that pose and give it a little bit more attitude. Awesome. I want to thank the First Nation Center here at Fanshawe College for hosting the high school day and bringing you all out of class. I hope that you carry on and do something good, such as gossiping, tell people about what's out there, what's available, be mindful to your school, and thank them all for letting you come today. We want to give a chance for the man who brought me in and wanted us to share, and we have a great connection with the young man. So we want to thank all of the staff that have worked so hard to get this activity organized. So can you all give a big warm welcome to Mr. Dan Kennedy? He's been our contact on this project. He's worked tirelessly, and if you even heard some of what he's doing to change careers in history, you'd be equally impressed. Dan, there comes our president and our vice president one more time. Please come forward if you're looking for summer job opportunities and all that. Come forward and find us, and let's get deeper connected.
All right, guys. Hello? All right, guys. Just thank you again for everyone coming out. Thank you to Thames Valley. Thank you to all the schools that we invited out. There's so many to name, but we're really excited you guys were able to come out and be part of this event. And thank you to all our guest speakers. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you to all our student volunteers and leaders in the back. You guys did amazing. And thank you to all the staff for all helping out too. And just as much as I did a lot of this, give a big thanks to Brian. Brian he put a lot of legwork in it, so it's really because of him this really happened too. So some of the Thames Valley schools have left already. We're gonna check where the buses are for the students that live elsewhere. So just kind of stay put, grab some more food in the back, grab some drinks, whatever you need, and we'll get